Y'all, my name is Heather Arsement and I'm going to show you how I did probably my favorite art resin piece that I've done to this date. So I'm showing you the colors right now. That's Dr. Martin's Indian ink and copper. I have the white, which is a mixture of Casting Crafts opaque pigment and Stonecoat white base tint white. I pre-painted the canvas a kind of corally color. Then we have Color Obsessions Amethyst. Amethyst is a very cool toned purple, and that's kind of what I was looking for. So this piece is based on the colors of a sunset. Also, I want to mention really quick that the trick with using Stonecoat's white base tint is to use the minimum amount as possible. So I mixed the two colors together for the white to be a little bit more opaque, and I think it was the first time that I tried doing that, and the results were fabulous. Right there, I'm mixing just Resin's Silver Lilac, and it's a very light purple with a little, that's basically the description. It's silver and a lilac. It's a metallic. It looks kind of pink on camera, but it's much more purpley in person. So here I am putting the clear down because I want to be able to see the color that I painted the canvas underneath, have some negative space there. And this is the purple amethyst that I'm adding. And then we also have the silver lilac. See, that's much more true to color on screen now. And I apologize that all I have is to film on my phone. Right there, my table is not level, and I'm trying to level out so I won't lose my resin. Because if your table is not level, it will definitely roll right off. So I put the silver lilac down, and then now my white mixture. Now I'm putting some more clear to make sure that you can see the color that I painted the canvas. And I'm just filling in, making sure there's no dry spots with my fingers. So I have this video obviously on fast forward, so it'll go a little bit quicker, but the total working time, I'm using Stonecoat Countertops art resin, and I can get, on a really good day, 2 hours out of this resin. But this whole project probably was 45 minutes. I'm using my heat gun to pop the bubbles right here. And I wanted to use all the purple I had. I just wanted to add a little bit more. So now I'm going to use, turning it over, I'm going to use my heat gun. And the thing about the white base tint is you have to push the color over the white base to get cells. Now, as you can see, I have some cells that are already forming right there on the left-hand side. Now, there's a little bit of Casting Craft white mixed in with the white base tint. So, if for some reason some of the white goes over the color, you will get some small cells with that. Because the Casting Craft is white over color, and the base tint is color over the white. So you can see I have some cells that are already starting. And I'm just pushing it around with my heat gun. I'm just adding some more white because I felt that it needed some, because you see I have a really wide space right there of the kind of orangey coral color. I'm pretty impressed with my phone because this is very color accurate. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, I've only started resin painting. I've only been doing it about 3 months. And this piece ends up being a really awesome finished product. I was really excited. I realized that I needed some more of that silver lilac. That's why you always try to leave some clear, just in case you need to add more color later. So you always try to, if possible, leave clear on the side. And you don't want to overheat your resin, so just be careful when you're using the heat gun that you're moving your heat gun around. One thing I have to say about resin art, it is not a cheap art form. I have spent a whole lot of money. I've tried a couple of different resins, and I am super happy with Stonecoat's art coat, and probably will never try another resin because the working time is unbelievable. So now I'm just kind of waiting for the resin to cool down a little bit before I heat it again. Remember, this is on fast forward, so um, you want to keep the spots that you really like, and you want to leave that alone and just heat the spots that you don't like that you want to move. So I was just moving it to see if the center was still warm because I don't want to touch that. So I'm just waiting. So I got a couple coasters you can see to the right that I was going to work on while my piece is cooling down. Because I don't want to lose the cells that I have. And there I am just checking to see if it's still moving. So I want to try to get that edge to move over just a little bit, but not necessarily touch what I like. And I still have some clear. Now I use a lot of people, including me, when they first began resin art. How do you know how much resin to use? Well, I use the art resin on artresin.com. They have a calculator. I do use that. I find it to be pretty accurate, enough to where I'm covering my piece and have a little bit of clear left over that you know, if you need more color or more things to add, you have it. And then if you don't end up using the extra, just have some coasters on the side to work on. So you don't really, I don't think it's an over calculation. I think it's pretty good. It's never been under for me, that's for sure. And you don't want to not make enough resin, and you don't want to make too much because resin is extremely expensive. So I'm just kind of leaving it alone, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I like it, but I notice on the right side there's a lot of white. And I think that I want to add maybe some of that darker purple to kind of give it a little bit of contrast. And so I turn it because I don't want to mess. Remember, you got to put your color over the white of your base tint to get cells. So I turn it over so I won't be, so I'll be going in the right direction. I'll be putting it over the white, and I also don't want to mess with the parts that I like on the piece. So I'm just kind of manipulating it to see what I like. And I feel like I need to get that white almost more of a swoopy thing in the middle of the piece, and I find it's a little bit off. And there is I'm just using the clear to kind of open up some spots. As you see, I put the clear down. There's some cells that I had, and I just put the clear in the middle of the cells. And when you add clear to resin, it pushes all the other resin around it. And I'm picking out hair with tweezers. Always have tweezers so you can pick out hair or fuzzies or anything else. Still trying to get that white where I want it, but not messing up the other part of the piece. and still picking out hair. Because I have a German Shepherd. And even though I'm working in a shop, somehow his hair, where he doesn't even go in the shop, has followed me. So, still manipulating it a little bit. Trying to... The biggest thing that I've had to learn was when to quit. When to quit. Don't overwork a piece. And if you overheat it, the colors are going to mix together, and it's just going to be a really bad situation. So it's just going to turn to mud. So that's been a really, really hard lesson for me, is when to quit. Stop messing with it and just stop. Because I have made countless pieces where I just wouldn't leave it alone and messed it completely up. I'm just adding a little bit of more white there because I want the white to go all the way to the end. And you see, I'm not heating the entire piece when I add something. I'm just heating the part where I added the paint. Because you don't want to keep heating your other parts over and over and over again. And I'm making sure that there's resin all the way around the piece on the edges, so I don't have any weird dry spots. Now I'm using my lamp to look to make sure that there is no hair, no more hair. And I'm done. Well, I hope that you learned a little something, and thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Oh, I must have found a hair. It happens. Okay, now I'm done. Like I said, thank you for watching. My name's Heather, and keep creating.